Imagine this. It's a cold, misty night in Victorian London. The city's heartbeat is slow, cautious. Gas lamps flicker, casting trembling shadows onto the slick cobblestones. Somewhere, in the labyrinth of Whitechapel's alleys, a figure moves with silent intent. Suddenly, a scream slices through the fog, a sound so chilling it seems to freeze time itself. By the time anyone arrives, the only thing left is horror, confusion, and a question that will echo through history. Who was Jack the Ripper? Welcome to your evening escape. This is not just a story, it's an experience. Tonight, you're tuning in to a true crime podcast crafted for your relaxation. There's no distracting video, no flashing images, just you, the story, and the chance to unwind after a long day. Put your phone on silent, close your eyes, and let the world fade away as we step into the shadows of 1888 London. Jack the Ripper, a name that sends a shiver down the spine. He's not just a criminal, he's an enigma, a legend, and a symbol of the unknown. For more than a century, people have tried to solve his mystery. But why does his story endure? What makes the tale of the Ripper so perfect for a night of suspenseful relaxation? Let's set the scene. London in the late 19th century is a city of extremes. The West End sparkles with wealth and luxury, but the East End is a different world, crowded, desperate, alive with the struggle of daily survival. Whitechapel is its beating heart, a maze of narrow streets, tenements, and secrets. Into this world, Jack the Ripper arrived like a phantom, leaving behind a trail of fear and fascination. Between August and November 1888, 5 women, Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, were brutally murdered. Their deaths were not just crimes. They were messages carved into the city's memory. The killer was never caught, and his identity remains one of the greatest mysteries in criminal history. But the story is more than just a list of victims. It's about a city on edge, a community gripped by fear, and a world that was changing fast. For the first time, newspapers were everywhere, and people were hungry for news. The Ripper's crimes became front-page sensations, turning a local tragedy into an international obsession. The press gave him his infamous name, thanks to a letter signed Jack the Ripper, a chilling note that promised more terror to come. Let's pause here. Imagine yourself in Whitechapel, 1888. The streets are alive with rumors. Every shadow seems to hide a threat. Women hurry home, glancing over their shoulders. The police patrol in pairs, but the killer always seems one step ahead. Each murder is more gruesome than the last, and each time the Ripper melts away into the night, leaving only questions behind. Who was he? Who was he? Was he a doctor with surgical skill? A butcher with a taste for blood? Or just a shadow? A myth born from fear and sensational headlines? The suspects were many. Montague Druitt, a troubled barrister. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant with mental health struggles. Michael Ostrog, a Russian criminal. And even famous figures like Lewis Carroll and Prince Albert Victor. Yet, none were ever proven guilty. But let's not get lost in the lists. What makes the Ripper story so compelling is not just the whodunit, but the world he haunted. The victims were real women, living hard lives in a city that often ignored them. Their stories matter. They remind us that behind every headline is a human being, And behind every mystery, a tragedy. As you relax and listen, let your mind wander through the foggy alleys. Imagine the fear, the confusion, the desperate hope that the next clue would finally solve the puzzle. The Ripper's legacy is not just one of horror, but of curiosity, a reminder that some mysteries are never meant to be solved. And that's what keeps us coming back, night after night. Let's dive deeper. What do we actually know? The 5 canonical victims were all killed late at night, their bodies left in public places. The attacks were brutal, but quick. The killer seemed to know the streets intimately, vanishing before anyone could catch a glimpse. Some believed he had medical knowledge, given the precision of the wounds, while others thought he was simply lucky, or unlucky, depending on your view. The police were overwhelmed, the public was terrified, and the press, they couldn't get enough. Every detail, every rumor, every wild theory was printed and reprinted, turning the East End into a stage, and the Ripper into its dark star. But here's the twist. Despite all the attention, all the manhunts, and all the modern investigations, Jack the Ripper was never caught. His identity remains a blank space, a question mark that has haunted generations of detectives, historians, and true crime fans. As you listen, think about why this story endures. Is it the horror, the mystery, or is it something deeper? A fascination with the unknown, the thrill of the chase, the hope that maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one to solve it. Let's walk through the timeline. The first victim, Mary Ann Nichols, was found on August 31st, 1888. Her body was discovered in Buck's Row, her throat slashed, her abdomen mutilated. Just a week later, Annie Chapman was found in a backyard on Hanbury Street, killed in a similar fashion. The city was gripped by fear, but the killer was just getting started. On September 30th, the Ripper struck twice in one night, a grim event known as the Double Event. Elizabeth Stride was found in Dutfield's yard, her throat cut, but her body otherwise untouched. Less than an hour later, Catherine Eddowes was discovered in Mitre Square, her body horribly mutilated. The killer had escalated, and the city was in a state of panic. The final victim, Mary Jane Kelly, was found on November 9th. Her murder was the most brutal of all, committed indoors in her own room. The scene was so horrific that even the police were shaken. After Kelly, the murders stopped as suddenly as they had begun. The Ripper vanished, leaving behind only questions. Over the years, countless theories have been proposed. Some say the killer was a local, someone who blended in with the crowds. Others believe he was an outsider, a visitor who slipped away unnoticed. Modern investigations have used everything from DNA analysis to psychological profiling, but the truth remains elusive. What about the letters? The Dear Boss letter, the Saucy Jackie postcard, and the infamous From Hell letter, all supposedly sent by the killer to taunt the police and the press? Some experts believe they were hoaxes, written by journalists to sell more papers. Others think they contain real clues. The handwriting, the language, the details, they've all been analyzed endlessly, but the mystery remains. Let's not forget the impact on the city. The Ripper's murders changed London forever. The police force was criticized, the press was transformed, and the public's appetite for true crime was awakened. The case inspired books, movies, TV shows, and endless speculation. Jack the Ripper became a legend, a symbol of the unknown, and a reminder that some questions have no answers. As you listen, let yourself drift into the world of 1888. Feel the tension, the fear, the fascination. Imagine the detectives working by candlelight, piecing together clues that never quite fit. Picture the crowds, reading the latest headlines, hoping for an end to the terror. And remember, sometimes the best mysteries are the ones that never end. So, as you unwind tonight, know that you're part of a long tradition. People who find comfort in the shadows, in the stories that make us wonder, and in the mysteries that keep us guessing. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the fog. If you enjoyed this story, stay tuned for more true crime tales crafted to help you relax, escape, and maybe even dream of solving the unsolvable. Now, take a deep breath, turn off your screen, and let the story linger. This is your time to relax. The mystery will be waiting for you whenever you want to return. Good night, and beware the shadows. Jack the Ripper is still out there, if only in our imagination.